Most people who move abroad have to come back home within a year. Not because of culture shock, not because of visas, but because they run out of money. I've been living in Bangkok for over 5 years, and throughout these years, I built multiple online income streams that allow me to live comfortably, travel whenever I want, and I never have to worry about returning back home as my income is 100% remote now. And I've helped hundreds of people build the same exact life, and the ones who make it versus the ones who don't, the difference is almost always comes down to income. So this video is the exact roadmap I'd follow if I had to start from zero and build online income specifically designed to fund a life abroad. Now, before we get into the steps, you should realize that what most people do when they decide to move abroad is they save up around maybe 6 months of income of living expenses. They book a one-way ticket and then they tell themselves they're gonna force a way to figure it out once they're there. Now, it does actually work for some people, but what actually ends up happening for most people is that their brain switches off from work mode once they're settled in a new destination. It's like you're not gonna be sitting in your new hotel automatically thinking of a new business plan. You're most likely gonna be exploring the city, meeting a bunch of people, dating, drinking, being a tourist, and then you might realize a lot of your savings have completely diminished. The security deposits for the condos, the nights out, the ATM fees, these add up very, very quickly. And it's happened to so many people here in Thailand. They just completely run out of money, they overspend, they don't really calculate how much they're realistically gonna spend, they don't have any active income, and then they have to go back home. That is the worst case scenario and happens a lot. So this is why I recommend building an income before you leave, or at least immediately when you arrive. And this is exactly what we're gonna cover in this video. So first off, not every type of online income is actually built to live a remote kind of digital nomad expat lifestyle. Let me break down the main online income streams and their pros and cons so you can decide which one's best for you. And just a side note, I saved the best one for the last, so make sure to stay tuned for that. The first one is freelancing. This includes copywriting, designing, video editing, coding, building AI projects, etc. You're basically selling the skills you already have, and the money can actually come in fairly quickly once you build up a portfolio. Platforms like Upwork and Fiverr make it very easy to find work pretty quickly without needing a huge network or like certificates or anything like that. And you can also utilize the power of social media like Instagram or LinkedIn to network your way to finding really good gigs. Now, the trade-off here is that you're still directly trading your time for money like a job, and every dollar you earn requires you to be actively working and to be hitting these sharp deadlines and to be hitting the needs of your clients essentially. And it's not the most ideal if you're like sitting on the beach or if you're out with your friends and you have a client messaging you demanding the project be finished right now, you know. However, it can definitely work, and it works for a lot of expats out here, and it's one of the most beginner-friendly entries for a lot of people. But my honest recommendation is to eventually move on to something that gives you more freedom and a bit more scalability. Next is getting a remote work job. If you can actually secure a remote position before you actually leave and find one that allows you to work from anywhere, that's going to be the most stable option on this list. You're going to have a fixed salary, predictable income, and you're not going to be hunting for clients, and it's just going to be very stable, very consistent. And for a lot of people, this is genuinely the right path, especially if you're in tech or marketing or finance or project management, where a lot of remote roles are. However, there is some risk. The risk is that your income still directly depends entirely on your company deciding to keep you, and one round of layoffs or one round of restructuring or one email essentially telling everybody to return back to office, it can pretty much blow everything apart. Like, I have some friends here in Thailand, they have worked these remote roles for more than 2 years, and they still continue to use these private VPNs, private servers to hide the fact that they're working abroad, and their employers don't know it yet. And a lot of times they'll have to work at like 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. or they'll be out drinking and they'll have to go back home immediately for 2 hours, then they'll come back out. It's relatively stable, but it's not fail-proof. And this is assuming if you even land the job in the first place. Genuinely good remote roles are extremely hard to find, and they're extremely competitive. And furthermore, a lot of these remote roles are advertised as remote, but they're not actually remote, they're actually hybrid. So they require you to actually be in office some days or be in the country, and a lot of them are just plain out scams. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with this if you've ever tried to find a remote work job. However, it's not impossible, and a lot of my friends are actually remote workers, and they have a pretty good life. They've been living out here for a couple years, and aside from the occasional 4 a.m. meetings and things like that, it's a pretty stable, and I would actually recommend it for a lot of people. Now, speaking of traveling, whenever I'm in a new city, there's one thing I know for sure, that I'm always going to be online. Whether it's checking on my banking apps or using social media or streaming one of my favorite shows, I'll know that I need to access everything and also stay protected, which is why I use NordVPN. You see, the reality of traveling is that you're always going to be using public Wi-Fi at random airports and cafes and hotels, and oftentimes your personal information and data is exposed. Sometimes hackers can even create fake Wi-Fi networks that look legitimate, but once you're connected, they can see everything you're doing. NordVPN essentially shields all of your data with secure encryption and hides your IP address so that hackers can't see any of the data and cannot see what you're doing. On top of that, NordVPN also blocks malicious websites, trackers, and dangerous downloads before you even click on anything. It also gives you full access to the internet without restrictions. So even if you're overseas, you can use the same websites and access the same services from back home. And the best part is that it costs less than a cup of coffee per month. And right now, NordVPN is offering 4 extra months free when you sign up for a 2-year plan with my special link right here. And if you're still unsure, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out without any risk. I'll have the link in the description. Next is e-commerce, which is selling physical products online, whether through your own Shopify store or platforms like Amazon. Funny enough, I was actually in this space for 4 years and I did very, very well actually. It's what allowed me to move from my small, poor city and my family's house to New York City, and then eventually make my way to Thailand. However, it's gonna be one of the most operationally and financially intensive ones on this list. You're gonna need a ton of upfront capital for inventory, for advertising purposes, and you're gonna need to go through a huge learning curve for marketing and managing suppliers and managing shipping from abroad. And even though a lot of these YouTube gurus, they flex like their 100K months or their $1 million years, the margins are oftentimes razor thin. They're oftentimes 20%. And that is assuming if you're even profitable, which most e-commerce businesses are not. It takes a ton of capital to find a winning product or to find that one winner that pays for all of the losses that you have to go through. That said, people do build extremely legitimate, very lucrative businesses, very huge businesses through e-commerce. It just tends to require a lot more resources and infrastructure than the other options on this list. Next up is teaching English. Now, this is one of the only jobs on this list, and it's one of the most popular ways expats fund their life abroad. It's relatively low barrier to entry, and it's stable, and it's a good way to immediately build a network and make friends and immerse yourself in the local culture and community as soon as you arrive. It just pretty much forces you into an environment. It's like if it's your first day in a new country, you don't have any friends, you don't really know any people, forcing yourself into a local job like that, it's gonna help you learn the language, it's gonna help you make relationships, learn kind of the city, learn how the city works and everything. And it's generally a really good way to kind of immerse yourself in the culture, the community, and in a new city. Speaking in terms of Thailand, for example, the salaries can often range from around this. Here's a picture showing the different kind of ranges for teaching jobs. The salaries can be quite low and the hours can be absolutely brutal. Like I know teachers here in Thailand, they have to work 6 days a week and they basically have to work more hours than they did in the States and they don't get paid overtime. But overall, I think it's a good entry ticket to moving abroad. If you just want to quit your old life and then just immediately have a ticket to moving abroad and having a good bit of income flowing in. You're not trying to be rich, you're not trying to be financially free or anything. If you're just trying to make a good bit of money and immediately allow yourself to move to a new environment, teaching English, I mean, this is gonna be a great option for you. Next up is consulting or coaching, which is gonna be one of the best ones on this list. Now, if you have a professional background like marketing or HR or operations or finance or tech, you can basically package all of that expertise and sell it directly to businesses or individuals. And the rates are considerably much higher than freelancing. The work is going to be quite flexible and you're positioned as an expert rather than a service provider. A lot of expats that I know personally, they do very, very well. They're making 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month. I know some even making upwards of 100K a month just by teaching, just by selling their knowledge and packaging it up. Like for example, I know coaches in the dating industry, in the fitness industry, in the marketing industry, in the Facebook ads industry, in the AI industry. The challenge here is, of course, you actually need to have the expertise and you can't really fake it. And you also need to build a very strong brand and reputation. Otherwise, no one's going to really know of you and they're not going to really believe you. So you have to go through the trial and the process of building up the expertise in the first place and then marketing yourself through content or through ads or through other organic measures and basically market yourself. You know, you have to sell yourself, whether it's through cold outreach, ads, social media, like I said. So this is definitely going to take some time. And that brings me finally to content creation, which is different from everything else on this list. Content is one of the only income vehicles where the work you do today, it keeps paying you for months or even years later. And you're entirely in control of your schedule and you're actually building an asset that you own. You're building your name, you're building your reputation, you're building an audience. And it constantly grows over time. What content does is it allows you to build a personal brand, and having a personal brand unlocks so many opportunities. It's personally unlocked so many opportunities for me. It's been one of the best decisions I've made. Like some of the opportunities and income streams include brand deals, free travel, hotels, digital products, doing coaching, affiliate marketing. The money is just, there's just so much money to make with content, and it's so diverse. You can stack so many of these income sources. Right now for me and my personal brand, I have over 6 income streams that pay me every single month, and it's what allowed me to live a very comfortable life here in Thailand and travel basically every single month. It's one of the most democratic ways for anyone to actually make money online and actually build a really big business. Unlike with these other business models, they require a huge learning curve, they require financial investment, they require a good bit of risk. The only risk with content is maybe getting a couple judgment of your friends and family or your peers and getting hate comments and stuff, but that's not actual real physical danger, that's not physical risk. You literally have your phone and you literally have your voice, and that's all you need. And it's gonna be entirely evergreen. Even though AI is here replacing all these jobs, people are still gonna be consuming content. They still want entertainment, they still want information, they still want someone to relate to, they still want to live vicariously through other people's lives. You have ChatGPT right now, there's no need for you to watch this video, yet you are, because I built a personal brand and you want to know essentially what I'm saying, right? So there's always going to be a need for content, for value, for entertainment, for education, for information, for relatability, etc. The downside of content is you'll need a lot of persistence, and you'll need to go through a lot of trial and error to figure out what actually kind of content works. And a lot of people are more naturally confident on camera, whereas other people need a bit more practice and they're a bit more camera shy, and they go through a lot of process of like, not sure what to talk about. They have these limiting beliefs like, oh, nobody wants to hear me, or I'm not charismatic enough, or I'm too young, or I'm too old, or I need to be this type of person, or something like that. But that's not true at all. So to conclude, every option in this video is going to work for the right person. But in my opinion, content is the one that really stands out. And it's the most advantageous one that gives you the most freedom and the most upside. If you happen to be interested in creating a personal brand and starting content, then I have a private mentorship where I work with you directly in terms of creating your videos, in terms of knowing what to post, in terms of how to actually monetize, in terms of the entire content journey. If you want to shortcut that journey and you want to be directly mentored under me, you can check out the link in the description for my free training. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram at I'm Pauly, and I'll see you guys in the next video.